You know, I don't think it's legal. I am assuming this is 1-1, you guys. I'm gonna be so mad if they lie to me. In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is Skillous. And in the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it is Harstem. No one was casting this, but they still lobby linked, so I jumped in. So no one else was able to tell me the correct score. But if the 2-2 was in fact a mistype and they are not actually playing a best of 7, then I would assume he was just one space over and meant to type 1-1. But maybe he was 2 spaces over and it was 0-0. Ah, crap. Oh no. Actually, the more I'm thinking on it, maybe this is a fresh series, because if they said 2-2, which is 4 games, and they're playing a best of 7, that's a potentially the caster equivalent of saying, well, now it's just a best of 3, so maybe it is 0-0. You guys, they're playing with my head, man. I'm just gonna put it as this, and we'll all be surprised. We'll all be surprised in a second. So PvP, good stuff. I really want to say that it's not 0-0, because I feel like they've been playing, but gosh darn it. Skillous beat Namtra to get here, and Harstem beat Gerald to get here. Looks like Lambo beat Denver. And Special Mana was the next series for Mana. You could have stuck with that, I guess, but I also figured that Wardy was sticking with it, so I bowed out. Ideally, we don't cover all the same matches. I don't think the Europe and NA admins are being as strict about, you know, one language caster per game, per lobby, but it's nice to spread it out. Spree at it. What do we got here? We got a lot of scouting because PvP. Harstem did go for a pylon out in the middle of nowhere. Skillous did not. Skillous is looking for said pylon, which he might actually be able to find here with the probe. While Harstem is looking for a pylon, even though he would have... Oh, okay, he didn't even scout at all. Look at me assuming. Just made an ass out of myself. He did not scout at all, which is unusual in PvP. It's such free scouting for the probe. But saves a couple of minerals, I guess. And it's not like a lot of professional Protosses are going to be foregating you. You know, proxy foregating you. The Adepts are going to see what they would really need to see, though, anyways. A Nexus on the low ground, as Harstem also grabs his Nexus. We did have a bit of a different opener, Adept, Stalker, and then 1 Sentry? Oh, okay. And then only Sentry Stalker for Skillous. Both of them skipping a 6th unit. One of them skipping a 5th. I'd say since the Adepts aren't doing anything, Skillous would get, you know, a little bit more rewarded for this because he doesn't need units right here right now, but he is down 3 probes. Oh, the power of that non-probe scout. But he is getting a faster forge, similar time to Robos, so very slight differences. Wait, what is happening? Wait, what the hell? Oh my god, I did not see that. I was like, where's the probes dying? I'm watching the probe line. The Adepts actually stuck into the main base. They're showing you the power of Adepts, man. This probe was slacking. The hell? 6 probes go down when Skillous is already down a couple of probes. That is not so hot right there. Skillous actually proxying while hiding. Better way to put it. He's hiding a robotics bay. Which I actually really like, but really sucks about those Adepts getting in. Also getting a scout, but not a true scout. It's a good thing he was hiding that proxy robotics bay. Twilight Council on the way for Harstem. He is pumping out an observer, and you know, continued Phoenix hallucinations are possible. He's also getting a War Prism. Harstem has a lot of ways to scout, and eventually, I guess depending on how thorough his scouting really is, he'll be like, what aren't you doing? Why is there missing things? They both went for the same harassment. I don't think the warp prism will ever go over the bottom right corner, though, and it's unlikely it'll ever get that much of a scout in the main. That's where the hallucination would. So, yeah. You see all this, and you see no Twilight Council, like, that already is the thing that's missing. Alright? Then you gotta figure this out. And this build, I feel like Parting first did it, and then everyone copied it, or so I've heard, but this is not that rare of a thing to do. Still kind of rare. We've watched a lot of PvPs, and it only happens occasionally. But yeah, it's... Okay, that's a good scout. Disruptor scene. And I was going to say, if a Disruptor is seen, then you probably figure it's going to be a 2-base all-in. Like, they're going to attack you. They're not just going to sit back in the Disruptors and wait for you to get a Stargate. They're going to attack you. It's the best thing they can possibly do. They have a surprise element, but they also just have a straight-up very powerful unit. Before you have its direct counter. Stargate's very strong. Harstem's going to actually meet this army in the middle of the map, which is probably the best thing he can do. Not only is he going to be able to catch the Disruptor... Oh, GG. It's immortal as well. Oh my god. He actually just totally wrecked that push. I was going to say, not only is he going to find Skillous caught off guard, he's going to have more room to concave. Thank you, De Hagensby, for the Twitch Prime 6-month resub. Alright, so Mana and Special didn't even start because they're both talking about the server. The final decision is that it is fairest server. So the rules on the page are wrong. By the way, my overthinking the score was correct. It was 0-0. Big brain. There we go. Now they ready to go into game number 2. Oh my god. Okay, I need to just 1 second, guys. You'll appreciate this. Okay. Alright. Really important, okay, guys? I had to take a picture of my cat. I had to. In the 12 o'clock position of Purity Industry, we have Skillous down 1, and in the 3 o'clock position, it is Harstem. Both of them this time not going for an actual probe scout, maybe? We'll see what the probes do. Harstem just checked around for like a real proxy, a real early proxy, and then sent it home, which, as I was saying last game, like it does kind of cover your bases, right? The downside, obvious downside to not fully scouting your opponent's base in PvP is that you don't know if they're not getting their second pylon, but the weird thing is everyone's faking everyone's faking doing something with their second pylon by building it out of their base, so does it matter if you scout it there or not? PvP, why? Thank you, Prancer. Just wondering, why did you dye your hair? Because I wanted to. Have you guys heard of Twitch Prime? To quote Harstem himself, the man who's just won the game, I am the Twitch Prime ambassador. Click that button. Click. 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 Thanks, Forsty.
Game paused.
Okay. Harstem is going for a Stargate. Just built a pylon and then paused. Alrighty then.
Game resumed.
Okay, Stargate opener against a guy who did not do any scouting, but again would have had his probe pushed away before he scouted the Stargate, potentially? Unless he really overstayed as well. Actually, if you go for a one-base Stargate, isn't it always scouted by the probe? I'm thinking back to other PvPs. No, it actually would have scouted it. But the funny thing is that they didn't scout each other. Like, stupid PvP. So the one-base Stargate's gonna go unscouted. The probe, even from Skillous, kind of got delayed, scouting so damn thoroughly, and then butting heads with Harstem's probe. We won't see the lack of a Nexus to even be suspicious. Skillous might also think, okay, no Nexus, just like me, it might be a Robo, because that's a Robo is very safe. And then, oh my gosh. The good news is you do usually just get a shield battery when you don't know what's happening, because it is likely it is a Stargate. Happens enough times. And that is very good news for Skillous, because it really actually was a Stargate. Adepts, just like last game, they're not really a hint, and they're also not doing anything again for the beginning, but they'll be brought back later. Recall's used to save them. And they both would eventually grab a Nexus, wouldn't they? I don't see a third gateway here from Skillous, so I figured this was going to be an eventual Nexus grab, but he's continuing to warp in as well. Big difference there. So this is going to be an attack, more of a potential for macro, I guess, as the game goes on. Am I missing a third gateway? No, I'm not blind. Okay. We saw so much from Spaz earlier today. I would have just expected it. Oh, this is so awkward. Harstem constantly getting these great initial starts to the game by just being ahead, just actually like looking ahead, and it's a little bit risky because what if he actually gets surprised? The army's already there, the force field's already down, but he has been getting the better trade. Saves the Stalker, okay for a hot second. Show better, it can't save everything. But this is actually quickly turning around. Despite getting a bit of a freebie Stalker, he's not quite prepared for this. Skillous, knowing that Harstem would not have a lot of units that would be helpful in this scenario, goes for the very swift attack here and is actually getting a third gateway. Just took a little while. But Harstem, he did do some scouting with the Oracle as well. Knew this could be a possibility. Did invest into a Void Ray. Very expensive. But until your Robo is actually done and you're able to pump out that Immortal, it's going to kind of cover that job. The Void Ray and Immortal combination now looking very, very dangerous, but the Warp Prism Micro still a powerful tool to have. 2 shield batteries are done, and charging up that Void Ray, as well as the Immortal, saving it from certain death. Not the same case for Skillous. Can't be bringing shield batteries with you with the Warp Prism. That'd be pretty OP. Oh my god, the Stasis Trap is so good. Well, I think Skillous might just die. We'll see here. I thought a second Immortal was on the way for Harstem, but maybe not. Maybe he counts it for something else. Actually, Void Ray. Second Void Ray's on the way, but... Could have sworn a second Immortal was about to pop out. No, that changes everything. Second Void Ray and a second Immortal would have been a big difference, but only a second Void Ray? Uh-oh. Ew. Second Immortal is going to pop out in 20, 15, 10 seconds, but the Void Ray already losing its life. This one's staying a bit longer, but no shield battery to help out. The Immortal on the ground also trying to help out the best of its ability, but the Warp Prism pickup of Skillous just a little bit too powerful. There's the second, third, whatever it is, Immortal from Harstem to try and push this back. The Nexus is very, very low, but not worth targeting if it means losing his push. So Skillous just going to take out the next Void Ray and that Immortal, and Harstem is going to lose to this push. The mining that was not happening thanks to that Stasis Trap might actually be the reason that he hasn't already won. He is finally back to mining, but that probably could have been a few more faster warp-ins. I still don't think it was a big enough difference. Like, this was crazy close at the last second there, but Nexus goes down, and now at this point, Harstem would either... Yeah, he'd have to hope to either hold his ramp, which would be very difficult to do against someone with a Warp Prism. There you go. And then get into Disruptors, or he could hope to tap out faster and get to game number 3. Those are your choices. "11 probes went down? Oh. Oh, the Oracle had waited enough. The Oracle had waited long enough to get enough energy to burn through the shield battery, and if it's actually dealing damage to the probes, it will quickly kill 11 probes, and Skillous could not do much about that. I mean, even him having to warp into soccer to even try and do something about it is a big deal. 12 workers to 24. This game not over yet. I really thought Harstem was going to be... I thought the Warp Prism elevatoring? There, yeah, right? Would have been good enough. But it took a little while longer. Gonna lose power on all of his production facilities. One last Sentry warp in. Oracle's gonna desperately come back, try and help out. Skillous still with just enough mining to continue warping in at least 2 units at a time. 1 or 2. And Immortal is pretty strong against the Stalkers, but the Adept counts a very good thing to warp in. And 1, he can afford them. And 2, they're not gonna die as nicely to the Immortals as the Stalkers would, so I do believe this is it. Although Harstem really trying to make this almost like a base trade. And his probes are going to start going down. They're certainly not mining. Shield batteries are finishing up, and that is extremely helpful. But the army has to get around these... Oh my god, so many force fields going down. And on top of the probes, not the army. This might give Harstem an opportunity to come back, but... 1 shield battery, kind of wasting its energy on the probes. 11 probes to 6. Immortal, oh, just barely not getting pushed forward by that force field. Just barely not. But Skillous now has the worker advantage. He has 11 workers to 6, okay, guys? That is a worker advantage. It's not much for either person, but it's enough. And as I was talking about, those Adepts, just a little bit too hard to chew through. GG. Skillous takes game number 2. Doing very important things right now. Oh my god, now everyone's in here. Apparently Bly beat Soul, by the way. So that's really cool. I wonder if the shield battery overcharge could have an impact. Probably. Oh, what? Almost joined the wrong PvP. That would have been weird, man. I was distracted by cat tweeting. Good guy Harstem reminding me. Ziggy is in such a stupid position, man. He looks like he's high. He's like, yeah, what do you want? He's so big for that little hammock thing now, too, and he still loves it. Alright, in the right PvP, thankfully, tied up 1-1, it is the round of 16, right? Yeah, yeah, quite, yep. No, round of 8, actually. So winner of this goes on to the semifinals. That much closer to actually qualifying. Ooh, something special is happening. Something. Bottom left, it is Skillous going for a front natural wall off, guys. Wowzers, wowsy. Golly gee. The bottom right, it is the Blue Protoss TeamLiquid Harstem. Third TeamLiquid player in the bracket. Clem having already qualified. Tielo and Mana also here. Harstem. Ooh, I'm probably forgetting someone. We feel real bad. We feel real bad. Well. Okay, what is happening? What is this? What? Golden Wall is a silly map. So this is a Golden Wall specialty. This actually is more a map that has a natural ramp like this. We've seen it on... We've seen one Gateway Nexus expands on Vani Research Station. Was that it? That might not be the right one. Oh! I can't remember what it was called. Like 2 map pools ago. Bottom right, top left. You know what? Whatever. Point is, you can wall off here. You show that you're one gateway expanding. Maybe, maybe not. Because you've completely walled off. In this case, with 4 buildings, but... Yeah, and the trick is... Sometimes you're actually expanding, and you're almost baiting your opponent into thinking, I get to beat you. You are doing something that is not allowed in PvP, and then you actually win because you were preparing for their attack the entire time. Sometimes you expand and then they don't really respond too well, and it's actually a pretty fair PvP. But anyways, this is extra spicy because while maybe Harstem's like, wait, are you expanding? Like, is this actually happening? Skillous isn't. Skillous mined out the back of his wall, which doesn't take too long, and is maybe gonna do the gas extractor trick? No, it doesn't have to. It's just a War Prism. Nah, it wouldn't be worth it, right? The minerals, the micro, I guess it wouldn't. This is so dirty, by the way. Like, people are gonna be stealing this build now. Protoss players out there in chat, don't. Stop it. No. Don't do this. Don't be a jerk. Skillous is going to not quite into the main to see what's going on, but he saw the double sentry opener, saw the Nexus, and actually should be feeling pretty nice about that, but also wondering where the heck the other units are. There you go. There they are. 2 Stalkers starting to chip away at the pylon, and Skillous is not responding in any sort of way to this. So this is actually a little bit awkward because Skillous might get supply blocked. He will. That's a fact. See supply block now, but after starting the Immortal, so it's actually fine. Another one gonna go down, but the Immortal attack has commenced, and now Harstem has to make the decision to continue depowering that pylon, which is maybe the grand scheme of things very unimportant. There we go, it's depowered, or recalling immediately. And he has not recalled, he has taken the pylon, he's also gonna go into the main and start going after the probes. This probably is the better call. Tough decision though. So you can get rid of this, the more chances you have to shoot at that Warp Prism, you know, with 2 extra Stalkers. Would be tempting to do, but these 2 Stalkers, 2-shotting the probes, not particularly vulnerable to surround, I guess. And they're being microed. Might just be better. 1 Immortal already very weak, but the Warp Prism still very much so healthy. Probe pulled on Harstem's side of things, have yet to really lose a lot of lives. Finally 2 of them go down, maybe a 3rd one. 4, 5. Sandy goes up to the Stalkers. 6 for 6. Looks like 1 Stalker on the offensive went down for Harstem. He's bringing the other one back home. Stargate now on the way. A pretty effective response if you know that they're proxy roboing you. But this not only was not scouted, it also was in a more proxy location than you would ever hope they would be able to get away with. Harstem does have enough to start a Phoenix, but I think preferable would be a Void Ray. The Phoenix would eventually turn on the War Prism. Skillous never repowered the single gateway that he had, but Harstem just gonna be forced to tap out. Even if he took out the Warp Prism, the 4 Immortals were just too strong. Skillous. You're so silly. I like it though. Don't do it on ladder, guys, because on ladder, we're just all looking to have some fun.